Hi everybody, it's Dave from Doctors of Running, and today we're going to be doing a comparison video. We have the ASICS Metaspeed Edge Plus as well as the Nike Vaporfly Next Percent 2. Now both of these shoes are top shelf racers that are on the market. The Next Percent 2 for a while has been unofficially established the gold standard for racing shoes, and I think the Metaspeed Edge Plus does give it a good run for its money in comparisons. When we take a look at the specifications, we're looking at a 40 millimeter stack height in the heel to a 32 millimeter stack height in the forefoot for the Vaporfly Next Percent 2. 6.9 ounces men's size 9. I wear 9.5. I weighed this today. 6.99 ounces in my size. Does use the P-Bax foam with the Zoom X as well as a carbon plate. For me, I had a little bit of heel security issues here, and the transition with the narrow last and the heel here felt a little bit sloppy, but it had a pretty good forefoot and bouncy toe off. With the ASICS Metaspeed Edge Plus, we're looking at 39 millimeters of stack in the heel to 31 millimeters of stack in the forefoot, also an 8 millimeter drop. Does weigh a little bit more. We're looking at 7.6 ounces in my men's size 9.5, 210 grams for men's size 9. This shoe is nylon based, does respond very similarly to the P-Bax foam like Zoom X. The transitions throughout do feel very similar. Things between the Metaspeed Edge, the original model, and the Edge Plus, there's 16% more Blast Turbo foam in the Edge Plus now. The plate itself was also offset to be a little bit lower with a sharper toe spring as well, and you do feel that. As far as ride on foot goes, this is probably the closest thing that I felt to the Vaporfly Next Percent 2 so far in terms of geometry and feel underfoot. The shoe for the Edge Plus does feel a little bit more stable. Again, it does come with a little bit more structure. The last is a little bit wider if we compare the two right here. And the forefoot also seems to be a tiny bit wider as well. The upper locks down well. Those that were in the Edge, a lot of people felt that it was a little small and they had to size up about a half size. I do think the Edge Plus is a little bit more true to size. The wide platform underfoot, the responsive foam, and the plate geometry just give it a very fun ride. This morning I did 4x2K at 6:18 average, so give or take 309 per K. I think it was like 504, 505 mile pace, and this shoe felt just fine for me. We're looking at about maybe 5:12 pace, hopefully, for about half marathon, so a little bit faster than half marathon pace there. But the shoe definitely turns over well, felt good at controlled paces, both fast and slow. I was able to warm up in it. The security in the heel felt much better to me than in the Vaporfly, and I think the lockdown throughout was good as well. The platform's a little wider, so is the uppers, so you have a little bit more of a balanced feel throughout rather than the narrow midfoot and last you get from the Nike Vaporfly Next Percent. So those that do like that real narrow, snug performance feel, they might still like that Next Percent as far as the upper goes, but if you want it to be a little bit more relaxed but still locked down well, you have the Edge Plus as well. There is a heel counter, but it's pretty flexible. It's almost more longitudinally stiff, but it's hardly anything coming horizontally if you're pressing in. So structure holds well, balance is good. There is a heel bevel, nothing overly dramatic, but it seems to work pretty well, and the transitions throughout feel nice and smooth. It basically feels like everything I wanted the Next Percent 2 to be. Those that have been following Doctors of Running for a while know that the Next Percent 2 hasn't always worked for me, and I don't actually race in it. So for me, the Alpha Fly has always worked a little bit better underfoot, but like I said, the Edge Plus for me does feel like a little bit more of a wider, more stable Vaporfly. Now with that does come about a half ounce of weight gain. For me, I think I will take the weight gain and take the Edge Plus over the Vaporfly Next Percent 2. Probably not shocking coming from me, as I've taken a few shoes over the Next Percent 2, but I do think as far as underfoot feel objectively, for me, this is the ASICS Metaspeed Edge Plus has been the closest feel to the Nike Vaporfly Next Percent. Just a little bit more stable and wider underfoot. Maybe a tiny bit firmer just because of the way the plate is offset, but overall, two very similar shoes, very similar specifications, very similar rides. Just one's a little bit more stable underfoot, comes with a little bit more weight because of it, and one is a little bit more of that traditional narrow performance last. Both great shoes, and I think you'll see them on the feet of a lot of the elites and everyone else on the market soon. So if you like the video, please follow Doctors of Running.